welcome to Unedited, episode 17. My name is Jordan, and I'm joined by...
Holla at your boy.
Ethan.
That's right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
Good. Are we going to do another mini episode today?
Yeah, it's going to be so short. Everybody buckle in. It's going to be just the littlest episode.
Well, last week we said we were doing a mini episode, and it ended up probably going longer than any episode we've ever done, right?
It's like 45 minutes.
When you think about it. So now the reason that happened is because we thought it was going to be short because we kind of had to switch our time up on recording, and we had to come up with something quick to do, and it ended up generating conversation.
Turns out we can gab.
We can gab, yes.
We got the gift of gab,
the
girl.
gift of gab, we got it. So, we're going to gab more today.
I'm ready for it.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so how's your week been?
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah?
Oh.
Is it okay?
Well.
Interesting?
Where do I start?
All right.
It's been very short. It's been good so far.
It has, yeah.
nothing bad. I've been loving... Okay, wait. I was thinking about this. I knew we were going to get to this.
Okay.
It's sweater weather time.
Yes,
baby.
it is. I got a coat on today.
Yeah. Sweater. I'm loving it.
I actually like it too. And even the 20 days, like when it says it's going to be 21 out, it doesn't feel like 21 in July.
No.
It feels like 21 in September, which means put on a long sleeve still.
That's right.
So it's good time of year if you like that kind of thing.
Oh, light jackets galore, sweaters, pants every day.
I thought I was going to miss summer so much because I love the hot. I love, t-shirts and shorts kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But honestly, after Labor Day, I think I'm just done. I think I am just ready for fall to start, right? Yep. And our fall season's so short here because we could have snow on the ground in 6 weeks, right?
True.
So live it up.
I also find I wear hats more when it's cooler.
Yes, you do.
Even though in the summertime, I wear hats more to keep out of the sun, but that's less often because I want the sun on my head. Like I want to feel the heat. Yeah. But in the winter, it's like I love having a cap and a sweater.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost wore a hoodie today too, and I almost wore a hat. So one day we're gonna wear hats on the same day, right?
On our morning FaceTime call that we do every morning to get ready together.
That's right.
We'll say let's match today.
Yeah. Next time we'll have the details.
Yes.
Put together. You ready to get into it?
I'm so ready to. Hey, you know what, Jordan?
Yeah.
I'm ready to get into it.
You ready? I'm ready to get into it too.
All
so
right.
we're going to be looking at a couple things today. We're going to be looking at in our feeds. We're going to be checking out what's happening in the neighborhood. And how about you? We're going to respond to some comments and some things that came our way. So let's just jump right into it. In my feed.
In my feed.
Well, Ethan, who's going first with our feed item this week?
How much conversation do you think yours is going to generate?
It'll generate. Mine might generate nothing, or it might lead us into a parlay.
Okay, so why don't we do mine first then?
Okay.
Because I want to give time for yours to get serious, to get deep. Mine's another kind of goofy international news thing, okay?
I like goofy international
goofy in
news.
a sense, yeah. Sometimes I like it. Honestly, anybody watching or listening, if you go to NPR, they have a whole section of just strange news.
Okay, and I looked through it this week.
And I love it.
So I might have saw your headline. We'll see.
I love it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you like James Bond?
Do I like James Bond?
Yeah.
Like the movies?
Yeah, just a character. What about Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt.
I think so.
I'm not talking do you appreciate everything they stand for?
I think I like James Bond. Yeah. I love the last one. It was incredible, actually.
Spy movies? You like spy stuff?
Yeah.
Do you like Cold War spy stuff?
Not sure.
Is that a little too dark? A little too close to recent history?
Could be a little too much, yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, there's a lot of intrigue about espionage and spy warfare, and, I don't think spy warfare is what I'm trying to say, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And, secret ways to spy on different nations and stuff. We make whole movies about it. People get really into it. And then there's also all sorts of conspiracies in the real world where people are, we would call them conspiracy theorists. They would call themselves conspiracy truthists.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting to think about all the different measures that people go to for international intrigue and spying. And what do you think about the idea that there are people training and using animals to spy on other nations?
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think I like it, but I could see why they would probably be used because it's comes across as innocent, and maybe it's effective in that sense if that's your goal. If your end goal is to do that, right? Mm-hmm. You might have a better chance of getting a camera there than you would somewhere else or something.
Yeah. So my real world takeaway is let's not use animals.
Yes.
But my
100%.
fictional world takeaway is this is perfect for a Bond movie or something.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%.
So I'm leave the animals alone, leave them out of it. But I'm also that's a really cool idea for a spy movie or something. So here's the thing. A while ago, there was a beluga whale that came to Norway,
Yeah.
and it had something written on it. So it had a camera strapped to it that was labeled as Equipment St. Petersburg.
Okay.
So where's St. Petersburg? Russia.
There you go.
So it shows up in Norway with
Yeah.
this supposedly Russian-marked spy gear strapped to it, a beluga whale.
Mm-hmm.
And it got lots of attention. There's media coverage of it and stuff. This was back in 2019.
Okay.
And this whale, people like took the equipment off of it, and then some like non-profit organizations trying to help like with animal wellness and stuff, or like protecting species and stuff, they got involved with it, and it's become a whole thing. But this whale just shows up with like spy gear attached to it, supposedly, it looks like. So the internet goes crazy, and people are like, is this a conspiracy, like, or you know, meaning like, did somebody make this up? Is this fake? Did somebody just put this equipment on to just pull a joke? But like, who puts like Russian branded instruments on a beluga whale? Like, how is that possible? So the theory that has been that it is a Russian spy whale.
Okay.
And the name of this whale,
They named it.
the name of it is Vladimir.
Okay.
But with an H in front of the V. So I don't know how to say that. I don't know if that's like Vladimir.
That's what I was thinking.
Vladimir.
Yeah. I think you're doing it well.
So this whale's become like a celebrity in Norway.
Interesting.
And it's lived its life swimming up and down the coast, and people spot it, and it comes up, and you can even see pictures of people feeding it and stuff online, and it's become like an internet and media sensation. Now, that's just cool in and of itself as a story.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
It is.
Although on a serious note, Russians leave the whales alone. If that's what's happening, leave them out of it. You know what I
Just
mean?
leave the whales out of it,
Just
yeah.
leave the whales alone. But it's just cool because this character has become like a beloved, Vladimir is a beloved figure, and people pay attention to him. People post about it. There's, like I said, nonprofit organizations that advocate for this whale
I
and
was
look
just
into
gonna say
it.
it's probably being looked after, fed, like all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a success story. If it's like, okay, if this whale was a Russian spy, or I should say more accurately, if this whale was, taking away the fairy tale esqueness of it, if this whale was abused to be a Russian spy instrument, it's been liberated from that, and it's been living its life.
Interesting.
The only thing here is, and this is where we're just about to go dark, it's just going to get worse and worse from here.
Okay.
So because it was young and alone, belugas are social animals. I mean, most mammals are to some extent, but belugas like go in pods and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like young, I guess like in its early teens, and belugas usually live to like 30, according to this NPR article. And people were concerned because it was by itself. So it was isolated, and it was moving along the coast of Norway. And then people started spotting it close to Sweden, where there's less fish and less, like it's less of an ecosystem apparently. Again, according to NPR.
Okay.
And so people were kind of concerned about it. And then recently, actually just at the beginning of September, they found that Vladimir was, this is the quote, this morning after receiving a sighting report from a local, our team arrived to find Vladimir floating peacefully in the water. And so they're not too sure what happened, but Vladimir passed away.
Oh my goodness.
So they're going to do a necropsy.
Yeah.
And they're going to try and determine what happened with his early passing, because he was between 14 to 15 out of a 30-year lifespan.
That's how long belugas live for?
That's what they say.
Okay.
So people would expect that like a pod animal outside of its community would also just live less, but they're like, why did he die?
Yeah.
But this animal is so amazing though, because it even has like propeller marks on it, like apparently from getting struck by boats and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Like it really seems like a like escape and survive and thrive situation.
Yeah.
So it's sad news that Vladimir is unfortunately untimely dead, but at the same
100%.
time, it makes for a very interesting conversation and discussion about whales, spies, and
maybe the next big movie.
and maybe the next bit. It's not going to be Free Willy. It's going to be Free Vladimir.
It's gonna be that sounds like a good
We
title.
could get Michael Jackson on.
Are you
that.
gonna write the script?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Big
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Easy script. Everything's in whale speech.
It is.
Easy script. Everybody has to figure out what they think is the meaning behind things. Did you watch that Star Trek movie where the whales talk to them?
I didn't.
They go back in time and there's whales on Earth talking to the Star Trek crew, the Enterprise crew.
Okay.
watch it another time.
I'll catch up with it.
But that's what I'm going to do for a whole movie.
Yeah.
Just Vladimir talking in Vladimir tones.
That's interesting, though, the whole story about Vladimir and like just like the lengths that people will go to get information and whatnot, right?
Yep.
The good part, though, is like you said, is he was cared for and loved, obviously, by that.
He was
that
liberated.
whole area, right?
Yeah.
But sad to hear of
So
Vladimir's
crazy
passing.
story to start with. That's fun to think about fictionally.
Yeah,
Sad to think about in reality.
in real life, exactly.
But then he's vindicated, so it turns into fun again. Where
Yeah.
you're like, okay, he's a spy whale that got away.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's he's a defector. So,
Yeah, a defector.
Yeah.
I like that. Good word. Good choice of word.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, that's my feed item. Any thoughts about that? Will you think
No.
about whales very often?
No, I don't think about whales too much, actually.
You should think about whales more.
I was looking on NPR and I saw a story of a boat being surrounded by whales just
Really?
recently. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
So
what happened there?
I don't know. I didn't really like get through the article per se, but I was skimming through the headlines to see if there was anything interesting.
Hmm.
There was also a story today about a grumpy fish. There's a new breed of fish that they're calling the grumpy fish because it has a frown on its face. And
A new species.
yeah, you have to look it up
There's
later.
so many grumpy-looking fish out there, though.
Maybe we'll bring it up on a future episode.
I
Okay.
appreciate that. I just finished watching all 4 of the Planet of the Apes movies,
Yeah.
the new ones.
Yeah.
So I watched all
Like
3
Mark Wahlberg?
previously. No.
Okay.
Jordan.
Well, I'm just saying.
Jordan.
He was in one.
I'm not trying to watch any Mark Wahlberg movie twice. Okay, Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the new ones. Like the first one had James Franco in it. It's been oh boy, what's his name? Oh man, he plays Claw in the MCU. He plays Smeagol. Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Andy Serkis plays the main character Caesar in these movies. And so there's a 4th one, so I rewatched the 3 so I could watch the 4th.
Yeah.
Not really worth it. in my
Not really
opinion.
worth it?
You
'Kay,
can watch
'kay,
the 4th
'kay.
on its own if you want. But
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 are amazing and worth watching. Anyway,
I'm gonna have to catch up on this.
I've
yeah.
been really into this idea of like animals banding together and like they're more intelligent and emotionally intact than humans think, and then they have to like overcome humanity's cruelty.
Yeah.
So you bringing up this idea of like whales surrounding, I'm like, it's happening.
It's happening.
The whales, it's happening. They're banding together. I bet it was Vladimir was leading those whales.
It very well could have
and
been
that's
Vladimir.
why we found Vladimir assassinated.
Yeah. Ooh, man, you're coming up with everything today. I think you got to start writing.
Viewers, listeners,
start a blog just for this, okay?
a blog to talk about Vladimir.
Free Vladimir.
And his
So that's the
and
name of
his-
your blog.
His insurrection against humanity.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'll creep over to my story here, which is a little lighter.
Are you gonna try to take us back on base?
A little lighter, but might get us fighting more, depending on how serious you take your food.
Ooh.
But this is a culture piece from
Just a warning.
from the
I take it
National
very seriously.
Peace, National Post. Sorry. National Peace. Well, we need peace.
We're
right?
talking about national
We need peace. We really do need peace. in
Vindicate
our
those
world.
whales,
Yes.
man. Liberate them.
But from the National Post, from the culture, here it is. Okay, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. Canadians prefer pineapple on pizza and vote Windsor as the top pizza place in Canada.
Bro, I've never even been to Windsor.
I've never been to Windsor either, so I can't really weigh in on that. The article does tell us that a couple other places that were in the runnings.
Regina better be there.
It was in there, and I disagree with that.
Well-
I don't like Regina pizza. Do you?
It's just a take on Chicago.
Okay. Well, it kind of, but that big place that they have, I think it's called Saf something, came here, opened up right across from Earl's,
Yep.
and it's closed now. So,
You know
so
why?
it didn't work well here.
You know why though?
Why is that?
Because it's from Regina.
I guess so. Maybe
Saskatoon people are like,
maybe
get out of here.
The fighting could have came into it, right? Yeah. Regina, Toronto, Montreal, Edmonton were also in that list.
Regina, Toronto,
So-
Montreal, Edmonton. That makes sense. Montreal and Toronto are kind of like obvious.
Big time.
Makes sense.
There's so much cuisine, right?
Yeah, and
So-
there's just so many different groups
Yeah.
of people there.
I
and
have
stuff.
heard though Regina pizza people do love. I have heard that a lot. So
I know a lot of people from Regina that
Yeah.
would die for Regina pizza.
okay. See, there's this little place in the world called Thompson, Manitoba. And
We've never
and there's
brought
a-
it up before.
There's a pizza place up there called Santa Maria.
Yep.
And Tom's.
Yep.
You will not find better pizza
Santa
than those
Maria
two
is
places.
great, but it's a specific
phenomenal.
kind of pizza.
It's Greek
though.
pizza. Yeah.
It's and it's very thick topping.
The sauce
not
is
like
amazing.
Vern's thick, but
Yeah.
thick topping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Santa Lucia in the
Winnipeg-
city.
So Santa Lucia is from Thompson.
Yep.
And there's an old story here. I don't know if this is true or not. Okay?
Go for it.
Probably shouldn't speculate about this.
Hey, I just speculated
But
so much about
but apparently
Vladimir.
the
You can-
owners of these two restaurants
Mm-hmm.
one time played some sort of game or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the loser can stay in Thompson. The other one had to leave town and set up shop somewhere else. And so Lucia lost this game, ended up in Winnipeg, and the rest is history. But Santa Lucia has got a way bigger reach. Like they got restaurants all around Manitoba. They used to be in Saskatoon. I don't know if they're still here or not, but they were here for a season, right?
Santa Lucia
but
is here.
It's the same kind of that Greek pizza, different sauce. It's not quite Santa Maria or Tom's level, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I like that story because it's
poker game
It's like
is the rumor. I don't know if there's any
movie-esque.
truth to it whatsoever, but I heard this.
that's what. Yeah.
So
It's like you could turn that into a movie.
It's probably made up, but I think all of us who've heard it would rather wish it wasn't, because it just sounds like a good story, right? Like you peacefully bowed out. You went to Winnipeg and you started an empire, right?
Yeah.
You recovered from your loss and you made greatness.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think about? I didn't think you'd care so much about the city. Do you prefer pineapple on pizza? So I won't eat pineapple on pizza, just so I could weigh in quickly on this.
Which is fair.
So, and Canadians also voted Hawaiian as the best pizza.
Okay, what's the source?
And we get ridiculed about this worldwide, apparently. Apparently Canada is the Hawaiian pizza place, right?
Well, there's a Canadian who made Hawaiian style pizza.
But a lot of countries seem to ridicule us on this. Do you like it, though?
So
Are you a fan?
So I'll let me insert my thoughts, but after I just poke you for a couple more details here. Okay. So you didn't even poke me for these on my article, so I'm gonna really mess with you here. But what's the source on this?
This is a post-media Great Canadian Pizza poll where they surveyed a bunch of people across the country. So it is a poll.
And who's reporting it?
It's the National Post.
The National
in
Post.
their culture, specifically article written by Laura Brehot.
And what's her writing credits?
So I don't know. I've never looked into it.
What gives her the
Prime
right?
Minister Justin Trudeau apparently has been on this kick here, #Team Pineapple, for many years to defend pineapple pizza in Canada.
Interesting.
So yeah, he's been a big fan of pineapple pizza. So
I'm going to say this without meaning it to be anything political at all.
yeah.
This is not a political stance. I'm not trying to say anything that I think about different people in politics.
Yeah.
But the guy likes to jump on bandwagons, okay? So I think if Trudeau is like #pineapple pizza, I think he just gets a vibe that people want that, and he's doing it, okay?
Yes.
So that's not a political opinion.
Yeah.
It's just what I think is happening there with that. So I wouldn't necessarily put too much weight in that. But
so we're just going to keep that out of the discussion. Just ignore the hashtag, because you don't want to ruin your opinion on the actual issues.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
And these are real issues we're talking
these
about
are
here.
I'm not going to let my platform be changed
Exactly.
based off of somebody else's actions, okay?
Absolutely.
I'm going to stand for what I stand for,
That's right.
and that's pizza.
That is pizza.
I stand on pizza.
and you care about pizza, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I like pineapple on pizza. I don't dislike it, but if I'm ordering a pizza, actually, perfect example. I ordered a pizza last night because I had Domino's points, man.
Oh, how was
so
it?
you get 60 Domino's points, you get a free medium pizza with 2 toppings.
Yes. Did you get pineapple as one of those toppings?
No. And I never, ever would.
Of course you didn't.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. With your judgment, I still like pineapple
Now you're
on
coming
pizza,
back at me. I knew
but
it.
I would never choose it
Okay.
as my one thing.
I know.
So I have.
You got pepperoni and bacon like normal people.
I normally would. I got pepperoni and Brooklyn style pepperoni.
Oh, that's good.
Double pep.
That's nice. Yeah.
So good.
Pep under the cheese.
Oh,
Pep
man.
over the cheese.
And it tastes like a pizza with way more than 2 toppings.
Yes.
Because the extra pepperoni is just boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
By the
boom.
way, I really like Dom's pizza. Like out of all like the fast food type pizzas, Domino's is my favorite.
Dom's is killing it, man.
Yeah, I like Domino's.
Dom's, shout out to you. Sponsor us.
Yes.
Can we have a sponsorship on
Yeah,
this
I would
show?
love Domino's to sponsor
I mean,
us.
we're a nonprofit organization doing a free podcast. They could probably sponsor us.
Yeah.
Could we mention in good conscience Domino's every week if they gave us a free pie every week?
That's what I was thinking. We could eat it right here.
I would eat a pizza every week on Unedited.
Yeah.
If they sponsored us for this.
Could do it.
I'm making some calls.
Okay,
but
you call
Domino's
your people,
is
tell
killing
them to
it.
call my people, and my people will call their people. Okay,
That's right.
And that's how we'll get there.
We'll start a hashtag. Pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza.
Okay, so I do like pineapple on pizza, but I'm surprised that this would be anywhere near close because so many people hate it.
I know.
So I'm like, who even did this
I know.
study? What was the
I don't,
base?
I don't know how pepperoni didn't win this because
Yeah.
the majority of times when you go to like pizza, you order like 4-to-1 pepperoni to everything else almost, right?
Exactly.
Or cheese. Like people seem to like cheese pizza
Yep.
too, right?
Yep. And I do
So-
not think it is unanimously a Canadian-liked thing. I accept and I appreciate that a Canadian said,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a pizza that I would call Hawaiian style just because I add ham and pineapple.
That's
so I
right.
get that.
That's right.
But even then, it didn't even say Hawaiian pizza. It just says pineapple on pizza. So I wonder if the study actually is, do you like pineapple on pizza? Just period. And if people are like, sure.
Yeah. No.
Like I don't think people are saying it's their favorite.
No, they were saying it's their favorite.
Okay, who
68% of
participated
responses.
in this study?
As for the country's greatest pizza invention, it may come as no surprise that Hawaiian pizza took the crown at 40%.
Greatest pizza invention.
Yeah.
So they were given options, and pineapple was
You know what?
listed
I
as one?
honestly don't have enough facts in this article. This article we need number 2.
Yeah.
We need another
We need to
article
follow
released
up.
about like what exactly was happening here in this thing, right?
Release the parameters of this study, because I honestly find it absolutely inconceivable that people would say that is their favorite topping on pizza.
Because it's always fought about, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're with a big group and you're like, so what toppings do you want? You always have the one person. It's
Pineapple.
only one person
I
in the
want
room.
pineapple.
One.
Oh, it's Ashley. She just raised her
Producer
hand.
Ashley. That
Yep.
says, I'll take Hawaiian.
Yeah. There's always one that says, I only have cheese. And
Yeah.
then there's one that says, I want pineapple. And
Yeah.
then, most people are like, pepperoni's good.
Yeah. But then you get a Hawaiian one, and whoever wants a Hawaiian like lucks out.
Yeah, they just eat a whole pie.
No one's touching their pizza.
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to have as much as they want, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of us are fighting over slices of cheese.
We're pulling
by the end of it.
pepperonis out of each other's mouths.
Well, that's the
like that
well,
was mine.
maybe not that far.
Well, when you pick up a slice and it's like a half of a pepperoni was cut, but not all the way, so you just kind of steal that other half from the
That's
other
true.
slice.
That's true.
I would throw hands over that.
Do you like mushrooms on pizza?
I love mushrooms
You do, eh?
on pizza too.
Okay.
Mushrooms are just good.
All right.
Do you like black olives on pizza?
No,
I love black olives.
I
on
don't
pizza.
mind black olives though, per se.
See, I don't like black olives. I like them on pizza
Okay.
and in a Greek salad.
See, I like peppers on subs, but I don't like peppers.
Oh,
So we get
but on
into all our-
subs they're nice and crispy.
Yeah, I like green
fresh.
pepper on pizza actually.
Green pepper on pizza is not bad.
Yeah.
I would argue red pepper is probably a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I like those banana peppers, like the red, yellow,
'cause
and
of
orange
color.
ones.
What's that?
They're great.
Yeah, bell
Yeah.
peppers.
Yeah. So
Did you? Never mind. We don't have time to get into it.
what were we gonna say?
But bell peppers are an interesting thing in and of themselves.
They are.
because they're sweet peppers.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And some kids
whole-
seem to like them, which is interesting. My daughter, I can give her a little bucket full of peppers, and she'll take them for her lunch snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so strange
Oh,
to
dude,
me.
I could
Because
eat
when
a
I was
pepper like
younger,
a-
I would never touch peppers like that.
Ooh, I could eat them all day.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was a freak for them.
Interesting.
Eat them by the handful.
All right.
My mom would chop them up and just,
Yeah.
That's the sound I made.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Well, I think we're going to move on here to our next segment, but we're going to come back at the listeners here with a question about pizza at the end. Sound good?
Yes.
And we want opinions on this. We want full out discussions,
Arguments.
arguments. Yes.
Tell us if you would stand on it, if you'd throw hands for it.
New hashtags. No, I'm just joking. We don't need to go that far. But Jordan, calm down. We're
Yeah.
going over the line
Okay.
here. But
Let's not get political here.
Well, exactly. Let's not do that. Let's check out what's happening in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood.
So in the Neighbourhood Church lately, we had our kickoff a couple weeks ago,
That's right.
which was a blast fighting wasps, eh?
Blast from the past.
It was like wild wasp time, wasn't it?
What is going on in Saskatoon with wasps this year?
And they're calm now. Did you notice that? Because it cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you, fall weather, again.
That's right.
MVP, right?
Bless up.
But but we had Kona shaved ice truck come here, right? It was called Kona.
That's right.
And it was the most interesting shaved ice truck I've ever seen because it was the calories on the ice was good. Like they had everything, all the stuff listed.
A little funky.
But then they would hand you a thing of ice, and then you would put the topping on yourself.
Which I love that.
Yes, so did I.
'Cause
on
you
the
want it
outside,
less
there were,
sweet?
There
You
were
want it more
taps
sweet?
of flavors out there,
Beautiful.
which I thought was so good because then you
Beautiful.
can kind of make it however you felt like it, right?
Yeah, hit up Jay from Kona Shaved Ice.
There you go.
He's my guy.
It was so good, but along with that came and I'm not joking, on the Sunday especially, over 150 wasps outside probably, right?
Gross.
Like they were going in the taps.
They were everywhere.
Everywhere.
And anywhere somebody spilt a little bit or left even. So people were deserting their shaved ice things when they melted a bit because the wasps were trying to get into the sugar water.
Yes.
And they're leaving them on tables. They would spill. So we were
Yeah.
wiping tables later. You're having to brush off not even 15 wasps
Yeah.
to wipe down a table.
Yeah.
And then they would start crowding you. And oh man, I didn't get bit or stung, did you?
No. I didn't. I did another. I do you know one gentleman got stung. He got stung on the tip of his finger, actually.
Bad place.
And even a week later, he said it still hurts.
Yeah,
like
bad
it still
place.
bothers. I can't imagine that, right?
Yeah.
He was. I think he was messing with the barbecue or something when it happened. For the most part, nobody got. I didn't hear of anyone getting stung. Right? Everyone seemed to enjoy it. I think the whole thing was a hit. That was fantastic shaved ice, right?
Yeah.
But the wasp experience, like you could tell how. I don't know. Maybe we're not soft. Maybe we're just normal, right? Because a lot of us were treating indoors during that time, right? Like I didn't want to be out there on Sunday. I was like, no, wasps are here. I'm in there, right?
I have to
so
tell
I hang
you,
out in the gym.
Yeah.
So
I had a wasp experience this summer. I've told you this before already, haven't I?
Yeah.
But nobody else watching or listening has probably heard this.
Okay.
So I got randomly stung for the first time
you told me this
in I think 15 years. Like I can't even remember the last time I was stung by a wasp. It was a white face hornet or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Like they're black and white. And I was out at camp and I just stepped on like a little bit of soft ground close to some brush to hide an item for a camp game we're playing. And all of a sudden on my ankle, I feel a prick. So I shake my leg and I go, ah! Like mostly out of surprise. But then I was like, oh, okay, I got stung. There's a hornet stuck in my leg. I have to like brush him off to get his stinger out of my leg. And so I was like, okay, young me would just keep walking around in the heat of the day and just let this swell up and be like, I can deal with it. But what I did right away is I went, sat down, put my foot up and put a little bit of ice on it for a minute.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
No. Did
like
it hurt?
It hurt for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like how bad hurt?
Like
1 to 10.
Oh.
Pain.
Like a 3.
Oh, seriously, eh?
Yeah,
So it
so
wasn't that bad.
the moment, I think particularly because it's surprising, and it was on my ankle, right? So, I mean, like, I don't know how much sensitivity ankles have.
Okay.
It's not as much as your fingertips.
No, definitely not.
So, or your face.
Yeah.
Or like under your arms
Yeah,
or something.
right
You know
on
what I
the
mean?
neck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, pretty good place to be bit and far from the heart.
Yes.
Easy to elevate as well, whatever, all that stuff. But, I think the moment of surprise, I was probably like, whoa, that's a 7. And then very shortly after being like, oh, no, it wasn't. It's just, like it just shocked me. And then it just burns a little bit. So anyway, I always was told that these white and black hornets
Are the worst?
bite or sting worse.
Yeah.
So after that experience, I had to really sit there and think, did I play up more my childhood? So I got stung like 5 times one time as a kid, like in one sitting with a shirt off, running around with my arms up, flailing like a maniac, like running from wasps, like, ah! And they stung me like under my arms and in my neck and on my back. And so I remember that was like horrible, but I was so young. And I've been terrified of getting stung by wasps since, and I'm always confused when people just brush them away and stuff. I'm like, leave it alone, man.
Yeah,
we don't want to get stung
I
here.
don't swing at anything. There was a gentleman actually by the shaved ice truck. I won't mention who it was. But
Just going ham.
He had a swatter out and was just smacking these things, right?
It was the genocide of the wasps.
In one sense, I was like, well, thank you. In the other sense, I was like, please don't anger these things.
True.
Because I don't want these things coming at me.
And that's what I'm saying, is that we're all going to be different places with that. I used to be hyper, like, leave them alone. But after this summer, though?
I do leave them alone. Like, I'll just move my head and run around, whatever I have to do,
ducking,
right?
Dodging.
Yeah.
You're like floating like a bumblebee.
I won't swing.
Float like a...
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
That's right.
That's right.
You were doing that. You were ducking and weaving.
That's it.
Got a regular Muhammad Ali over here with those wasps.
Yeah, I was kind of doing a bit of a disco thing, kind of going on a couple times.
Disco stew?
Yeah, you bring it out now and then, right?
Nice.
Like, yeah, it's not an everyday occasion, right?
So I'm a reformed man, is what I'm saying. Is I find like I can brush them away now. I'm not as worried.
No.
So the issue is when I see 15, I'm like, let's not get stung 7 times. That would suck.
Yep.
But if there's one, I'm usually like,
Yeah.
He'll leave me alone or he'll sting me and he'll move on.
Yeah.
But what do you like?
Yeah.
So
no, I'm pure avoiding. 3 weeks ago, a young lady who was taking care of our daughters found a huge nest in the tree in front of her house.
Nice.
And when I say huge nest, it was bigger than like a CFL football. Like,
wow.
This thing was massive.
Yeah.
So normally one of us, and I'll be fair, Nick's the one who often will do something like this. We'll put on multiple hoodies and whatever, and go out there and just spray inside of it, and the thing's usually gone. That's if it's this big.
Yeah.
Like an orange size. This was a football.
Whoa! That's an orange size?
Well,
I think that's like a large grapefruit.
Yeah, yes, yeah, smaller though, right? So, anyways, we found this. We hired someone to come, $100. He showed up, white suit on, put on a gas mask, walked up there with a big thing on his back, started spraying it down. Eventually knocked it in, bagged it, threw it in his truck. See you later.
Wow.
That's all it was. Yeah. But when we did call in about it, the only reason I'm telling this story is it was the white hornets that you're talking about it.
Yeah.
And the person said to us, even if you don't hire us, hire someone else to take care of that because
they're nasty.
Well, it's huge. He's like, if the nest is that big,
Yeah.
you're going to have a ton of them in there, right?
Yeah.
So he was trying to instruct us, and I don't think it was for his profit, but he was trying to instruct us, don't do it yourself. Get someone to do it for you, right?
Don't have any hubris around that.
That's exactly it.
So do you mind me asking what the cost was to have something like that
$100.
done? Hey.
About $100. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just like, you know what? We'll just take care of this one, right? So
I mean, I'm not saying, hey, okay, as if everybody's just going to throw $100 at it,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
that's less than I thought it would be.
yeah, it was just, and it was like 7 minutes of work for this gentleman. So like, imagine if you could do like 10 of those, like eight of those an hour. That's like $800 an hour. Like you're making
Forget
good
about
cash
it.
at that point, eh?
Forget about it.
So next
But
summer,
what do you do in the
I'm
winter?
going to see you in a truck in a white suit and a gas mask in the evenings, eh?
Unrelated to wasp keeping. It'll just be my drip for the summer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, we played with wasps. We had fun with wasps, right, at kickoff.
But the event was great.
We had
aside from
barbecue.
the wasps,
The
right?
kids had a blast, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The adults hung out. We chatted. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Louis started a new sermon series called The Better Life, and this past week he gave us a second message in that.
Yeah.
And he made this statement. So we'll discuss a couple statements here. Okay.
Give it to me.
He said, "Life is better when you have more of what truly matters, and less of what distracts you from what truly matters."
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, actually, so 100% agree.
Yeah, me too.
The only thing I think we need to like clarify is more and more of even what matters can be too much,
There
which
you go.
he was not advocating.
Yes.
Because he was saying a one-handed life and a two-handed life. I don't
That's-
want to get ahead
that's-
of you.
No,
here.
that's the next part we're going to.
Yeah.
He used an illustration where he brought out two buckets. He had a bucket in each hand, right? And he was basically talking about how more is not always better.
Yes.
Sometimes less is more.
Yes.
And he had someone come up.
Gulp.
Go. And I'm losing my voice here in the middle of this episode. But he had someone come up. I think it was one of his sons, right?
Yep.
On the Saturday.
Yep.
And he held a bucket and he was still able to shake his hand and lift him, help him on stage kind of thing.
Yep.
But then he put two buckets in his hands and he wasn't able to help him out. So I think that kind of in a sense kind of clarified the idea that, you know, more is not always better because like, you know, when you have both your hands full, you don't really have anything to give away to other people.
Yep.
But when you only have one handful, because realistically we all have responsibilities, we all have things we have to attend to, so we are going to have a handful.
And good things we should hold on to.
100%.
Yeah.
But this hand is often available to also reach out and help others. So I thought the illustration was great in the sense that
It's very good.
it really showed us just in very simple yet profound ways in which, like, you know, we live life that, you know, we are better off with less because we're going to be able to do more.
Yeah. I remember
And
when
what
he
matters.
started the sermon, he started talking about, you know, our culture tells us that we like more and more and more is better. And even
Yeah.
like the cultural, like, meta of the time is like onward and upward perpetually.
Yes.
Which we've kind of mentioned here before from a Christian perspective and worldview. It's not sustainable. It's not how we think the world works. Like it's not just always onward, upward.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at. And so when he started saying, you know, it's not always better to have more. I remember I said to you, I said, preacher's going to preach. You remember that?
Yeah,
And I
do.
knew he
do.
was going to bring it, and he did. It
Yeah.
was just such a good sermon.
Yeah.
And like you're saying with the first thing, the having more of what matters and less of what distracts us from what matters.
Yeah.
It has to be balanced with the one-handed instead of two-handed life.
For sure.
So one hand full instead of two. So if you're trying to fill up your hands
Yeah.
with what matters, you know, in quotations here,
Yeah.
through your introspection, your prayer, your priorities, all of this, like your family time and stuff, if you still have two hands full, you're actually not better off. Like more is just not always better.
Yeah.
It needs to be what matters that you have,
Well, that's
that
it.
you're seeking
and,
more.
and it's trying to figure out what truly matters in your life, and I think that's that's where he wanted to lead us in the sense of that we take time to slow down because most of us don't take time to ever slow down and think about this stuff, right? We just keep
Oh,
going and going
dude.
and going and going and going with two hands full, right? Like,
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes, you know, slowing down and prioritizing and looking at what needs to be priority can be one of the more refreshing things we do. And we probably should be doing this several times throughout the year, right? Just taking these times to focus on what truly matters and what really means the most. So I like this word. I thought it was great.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about slowing down for a second?
Yeah.
is because as it pertains to the message, he was saying, well, something that was funny, he said, is he's like, let's not have a bunch of people giving their input on what we should be fighting for. You figure it out for you. Like, go pray about it. Go talk to your family about it. Go, like, what is your priority to have your hand full of? And then, keeping that other hand open. So cutting out the things that are distracting and overwhelming and maintaining and holding on to tightly, fighting for what matters. So he said it's up to you to figure that out. Yeah. Can I just say that even taking that moment to pause, like, I think we're living in a time that we haven't seen, at least not to this extent in human history before, where we can live life distracted for like weeks at a time.
Oh, for sure.
Without even pausing to think about these deeper things. And sometimes I catch myself where I'm like, I haven't sat and deeply thought about this thing that's been bothering me for 2 days. Like, this thing came up a while ago, and once I get home, I'm listening to a podcast while I cook supper, or I'm, whatever. Like, I'm filling my day with like media, and I'm getting messages and emails, and I'm, contacting people, and filling my day with so much that sometimes we just don't even give ourselves the time to stop and think, like, wait.
Yeah.
What are my priorities? Like, am I just like coasting through life, living distracted, big swaths of time, and only thinking like once a month when pastor challenges me to like cut some things out? Yeah. Like, if we only listen to Louis to cut some stuff out when he preaches that sermon, let's say once a year, if he was to like bring back the subject, that's like a whole year of like not taking time to slow down and to evaluate things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's so important that we do it, right? So, like New Year's, I think that's once a year when a lot of people will think about stuff that they can cut out of their lives, right? That aren't necessary, right?
Usually,
and
some holidays,
and if you're religious within the Christian faith or Catholic faith, Lent's another time you might do that, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of open season, and we can get into a routine, if you will, that we just run without ever stopping, pausing, and silence is so important, and yet it's so difficult in the world we live in, right? Just to take that quiet time, think about these things, and then plan yourself accordingly towards making those things your ideal, right?
Yeah.
So it was good.
And there's a lot of like what we would call religious habits that can feel very bland unless we breathe that life back into them to say, like, actually I do this because I'm reminding myself this is a priority.
Yes.
And I'm taking this time to, so like even coming to church on a weekend. Yeah. Lots of Christians are like, hey, I can be a Christian and not go to church. And like, we don't need to get into that conversation. I believe that your salvation can be fine with a lot of things. But if you're talking about like making the space for things, like it's important to get to church,
100%
so you can sit there and you can evaluate your week and you can talk to people and have input. And, so anyway, that's I think what he talked to us about, figuring out what matters and holding on to that. Sometimes we have to make those things habits so that we can actually come back to them and we can actually remind ourselves and set ourselves straight. Yeah. So, I mean, that sermon goes deep and wide.
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah. Definitely. If you haven't listened to it, you could check it out on our Neighbourhood Church podcast, or you can check it out on YouTube, Facebook, different places where it's posted. Yep. Make sure to give it a listen. Let us know what you think about that. We could talk for a long time, but I think it's time for us to ask the question, how about you?
How about you?
All right, here we go. So on Facebook, we got a comment. And to me, this was like not just a comment, it was a wish. It said, we want a picture of Ethan with dreads. And the person who made this comment left a sad face emoji on the video.
Well,
so
first of all, I want to know what's going on with the sad face
emoji. Me too. Like, was it like, I don't know.
You know what I realized, actually? I learned well after these years of having dreadlocks is that there's... I don't want to say how big or small the group is, but there is a group of people who think it's really uncool for white people to have dreadlocks.
Okay.
I just want to acknowledge that because some people might hear this and be like, oh, okay, of course he did. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was a teenager and it was part of skater rock and roll culture. So
for sure.
But dreadlocks, I looked for my pictures.
Okay.
Somebody actually asked me on the weekend, they said, hey, I listened to the podcast. You had dreadlocks. What did that look like?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm like 14 in the pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to look like me anyways.
Yeah.
But I can't find them.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to post anything.
If you ever uncover
update
one,
people.
we might throw it out there, though, right?
If you see them, you'll see why I got rid of them. Let's
Okay.
just put it that way.
There you go.
It's usually you need to like give dreads time to set in and to like grow out and to actually like establish their consistency.
Yeah.
I like hardly got into the beginning stages of that before I took them out.
Okay.
So they're pretty messy.
I figured out the sad face. The sad face is probably that they couldn't see you in dreadlocks. That must have been it.
If
They're
that's what you
very
want to
sad
believe.
that they couldn't see it. They couldn't see the sheer beauty of what that would look like.
Sheer beauty.
So
The sheer teenage angst
yeah.
of it all. Yeah.
All right, we had another comment. Ethan, one day I hope to find a picture of you with dreadlocks and show it to all of your
Okay.
youth kids. So
All right.
people are wanting this picture, man. This is going to become an ongoing thing here, and you kind of stirred the pot here, right?
This comment introduces something new that I want to address, though.
Okay.
The idea of showing the youth in my youth group it sounds like they're like, I'll get you with that. Like I don't care. Just to be clear, I'm pretty sure they're posted on social media somewhere. But you guys got to leave the dreadlock pictures alone. All right.
Okay.
You just leave it alone, guys.
Just leave it alone.
If you can find them on the internet, sleuth it out. You go for it. If
Yeah.
I put it on the internet,
You're
then
throwing
it's there
out the
forever.
Jack Black here. You're like, step off, right? Just step off.
Whoa,
Like
whoa.
School of Rock.
Nice reference.
School of Rock
Okay,
reference,
okay.
yeah.
But I would not be embarrassed by having these pictures out there, just to be clear.
Perfect.
I embrace my past. I think it's kind of charming, the things I went through. It's cute.
I appreciate
young
it.
Ethan was
I
figuring
liked
stuff
hearing
out.
about it.
But they also referenced you. Can I
Yeah,
read that part?
You can.
This commenter also said, Jordan, I sincerely hope that one day you find the ability to enjoy reading for fun. That's nice, right?
It is nice. I used to have that feeling when I was younger. I loved reading growing up. And so I would read storybooks, and I used to try to write them even. Like I thought maybe writing would be a big part of like what I'd want to do one day. And but somewhere, and it had to have been college years, I just got into reading nonfiction. And so now whenever I read, I feel like, and especially with limited reading time, I want to read stuff that gets me thinking and that kind of gets me, like pondering new things, right? Learning new stuff.
Yep.
Maybe agreeing with new stuff, disagreeing with new stuff. I like to be challenged a bit more that way. And so I think that's kind of the rut I've gotten myself in. But I do need a good fiction book that's going to get me back into the reading for fun game. And to be fair, I actually have a lot of fun reading nonfiction.
Yes.
Like a ton of fun reading nonfiction.
I was about to say,
it's a blast for me.
I know you, and I know what you like, and I know what you find joy in. And I gotta say, as well-meaning as the comment is, it is conflating a little bit the idea of reading fiction with only being fun and nonfiction. Like you enjoy.
Oh,
it's
I love
not
it.
like you're like
I love it.
I only work through reading.
I was on a day off 2 days ago. I went to the Junior Cafe on Broadway. Check it out. Good coffee. And I
Broadway Roastery?
sat at the window. No, it's called Junior Cafe.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Just Broadway.
It's on Broadway though.
Okay.
And I pulled out a book and I sat there for about an hour and a half reading a perfect nonfiction book that got me thinking, highlighting, underlining, and it was a very great experience.
Having a good time.
It was good.
That can be fun.
I do like it. Yeah. So Alyssa, I am sorry your fish died.
Alyssa, my wife, appreciates your condolences.
Absolutely.
She genuinely, it was not fun for her.
Yeah.
Like, we were kind of joking about it, but she was pretty
yeah.
sad about that. So much appreciated the condolences there.
Awesome.
You know what's cool is that, so this is all one commenter. The first one about the dreadlocks was somebody else, but this commenter gave
Are you going to read the next
two
one?
truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Let's do it.
And let's just out this commenter so that we can understand who we're talking about. They've been on the show before.
They have been on the show. Yes.
Charis Israelson.
That's her.
Fan of the show.
Yep.
Member of the show.
Yeah. Contributor to the show.
Human being that lives in our city.
Absolutely.
Student body president at Horizon College and Seminary for the year of 2024 to 2025.
College student, once lived in Swift Current. Okay, anyways. We better not.
Brown hair, medium length, wears glasses.
Likes to read fiction for fun.
Plays piano.
Enjoys worship times.
She lives on...
All right. We're good. All right.
Okay.
Two truths and a lie.
Two truths and a lie.
Cheers.
Me and you read this comment, and we kind of had our thoughts already, but I want to hear what all three of us in this room think. Okay. So her two truths and a lie for Charis were:
Okay.
1, I read all the Harry Potter books in under 2 weeks. Flex. 2nd, I went snorkeling with manta rays in Hawaii. Flex. Okay, and the 3rd one, I once threw up on a roller coaster in Disney World. Weird flex, but still a flex.
Still a flex. Yeah.
Okay, so my thoughts were She did not read the Harry Potter books in under 2 weeks.
Okay.
What did you think?
I was originally going to go with that, but I'm actually thinking she didn't throw up on a roller coaster in Disney World.
Why?
I think she probably did it in Disneyland.
Okay.
I'm playing the semantics game
Tricky.
here, and she's being tricky. And I think that she did throw up on a roller coaster, but it wasn't in Disney World. It was in Disneyland. So
She's
I'm
tricky Miss Vicky.
I'm standing by that.
Okay, well, you know what? Ashley agrees with me. She says that it's the Harry Potter one as well.
Okay.
So everybody believes that she went snorkeling with manta rays in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's what
know.
we're gathering.
That's the one that we're not challenging. That maybe could be the one, maybe. For
Well,
all we know,
who knows?
right?
So I'm not too sure. Ashley says because she did.
Yes. There you go.
So she's pretty confident. And I would trust Ashley to have had a conversation with her about that at some point. So Cheris, let us know. Comment
Yes.
back. Let us know which one is it. So me and Ashley are on the Harry Potter one.
I don't think she.
I don't
threw
know
up on a
which part
roller
of that I
coaster.
think is fake. I just think the whole package is not real.
Okay.
And you think it's got to be Disneyland specifically. It's
Well,
a very specific thing.
But I'm specific that she didn't throw up on a roller coaster in Disney World.
Okay.
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 It was either in Disneyland or
Six Flags.
It was at the Saskatoon exhibition. Like I don't know, right?
Yeah,
like
okay.
it was
Okay.
somewhere else,
Yeah.
right? It happened
Yeah.
someplace kind of different. So.
Well, she's a Swift Current gal too, so unless it's happened in the last 5 years or whatever, I don't know that she ever came to the X.
Okay, you're right. That could be the case.
We need the
So,
truth. We need the truth, Cheris.
The truth needs to prevail.
Hashtag we need the truth, Cheris.
Yes.
Make it trend.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know. We want to know. Last comment that came in. I'm directing this towards you, Ethan. By Hyperion, do you mean the 4-book series Hyperion, The Fall of Hyperion,
Endymion?
Endymion? Thank you. The Rise of Endymion. That was a good series. I read it back in high school. I've been meaning to read it again. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay, because I honestly I couldn't even pronounce that word. I had to get you to step
Well,
in
I could be wrong about
and
it.
come in clutch there, right? So
Well, just to be clear, I've audibled these, so it's audiobook. I've done Hyperion and The Fall of Hyperion, which, by the way, when you listen to an audiobook, it counts as reading a book.
yeah,
I don't care what
I
people
agree.
say.
I'm with you on that.
Some people are purists.
I'm with you.
I read on an e-reader and I
Yeah.
use Audible. So
There you go.
come at me in the comments if you think that's not reading.
Yeah.
But I have not got to Endymion or The Rise of Endymion,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hoping to actually with my Audible pretty shortly here.
There
but
you go.
You need space for these books.
Okay.
They're big
Yes.
and they're heavy
Yeah.
and they're really fun, but they're quite heady at times.
Yes.
So I think Hyperion, just even itself, so it is a self-contained book. It continues into more, but you could read Hyperion and be done, and it's beautiful. When you continue the series, it shifts the focus a little bit more, and you enjoy it going forward, at least from The Fall of Hyperion. So you know how sometimes there will be a movie, it's a one-off movie, and then they make a sequel, and you're kind of like, okay, it's based off of this, and we keep going, same characters, but
Yeah.
the first movie, it's still itself.
Yes.
So that's why I would recommend Hyperion just as a book. Just you can enjoy that, and you could be done if you want.
Okay.
But from the second book, I think the series is pretty phenomenal.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let us know
So-
if you've read Hyperion and if you plan on checking this series out. When you were younger, do you remember the first little book series you ever read or ever started to read or
Like a full series?
Well, no, not the
Yeah.
full one, but just
Oh.
the first one you even attempted to get
Well, I
into.
mean, getting into a series, though, you mean in general, right?
Yeah.
Not just a one-off book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my first series was The Hardy Boys.
That me too.
Yeah?
I was just gonna say the Hardy
Nice,
Boys is what I read.
nice.
Yeah.
It's
So,
light novels, right?
Book 3, Secret of the Old Mill, was my favorite, and I still remember that because
Yeah?
I used to like reading these things, right?
Yeah.
And I think the Secret of the Old Mill was they found counterfeit money being made is actually what was happening down there.
Dude, there's 600 of those books.
I know there's so many of them
Oh,
now.
man, I love them.
So and I think there's the kind of version that went with it was Nancy Drew books, right?
Yes, I believe it's the same author.
So-
Pen name was Franklin was the pen name, I think.
I started thinking about this when I took my daughter to the library last time because she picked up a Nancy Drew book.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the Hardy Boys, whoa. And I
Yeah.
almost want to start maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's how I can start reading fiction again. It's just
Yeah.
rereading old Hardy Boys
Hey,
books.
if you want a throwback, yeah, absolutely. I've audibled a couple of them just so
Okay.
I had big drives to do 8-hour drives, and I was
Okay.
like, let's get. And I mean, they're 4-hour books on Audible.
For sure they
so
would be.
you load
Yeah.
up a couple, and it's just fun.
That's good.
They've done lots of resurrections of those, which
Yeah.
are hit or miss whether they're actually. Did you watch the Hardy Boys show?
I didn't. I knew you were going to bring that up. I actually didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Was it a movie or a sitcom?
It's a TV series.
Okay.
Not a sitcom. No.
Was it okay? Sorry.
It's not a situational comedy.
All right.
It's like a drama, a mystery drama.
Was it? Okay.
It was like a 5 out of 10.
That's all right. Eh?
Meaning it wasn't
pretty
horrible,
mid.
but it wasn't good. It's just
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's not a Rotten Tomatoes 5 out of 10, which is really 90%. Like that's stupid Rotten Tomatoes, man.
I'm
It's
telling
ridiculous.
you, man. Just stay away from it. Stay away from it. Anyways, we talked about a ton today, so why don't you weigh in? Why don't you let us know in the comments what's your favorite pizza? Where's the best place to eat pizza?
Pineapple.
Do you
You
want
like that pineapple on your
want
pizza?
Ethan to write a spy movie about whales?
It's gonna be
I
good.
mean, I'm all in on this personally.
James
so.
Beluga.
There you go, James Beluga. I like it.
Yeah.
Man, the ideas are flowing here. You can just feel that
Yeah.
kind of magic happening. What'd you think of the kickoff weekend? If you were at our church, and any comments on what we were talking about discovering what truly matters in life, and then just weigh in on anything you feel like. And as far as we're leaving the dreads alone though. That's one request.
Get off my
right?
back, y'all.
We're leaving the dreads alone, right?
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, I won't be. Oh, well, I mean, if you can sleuth it out, I'm not going to surface a picture for you because I couldn't find one.
There we go.
But
But you did put your hard effort in, and that needs to be acknowledged on the show.
I spent like 45 seconds scrolling through old Facebook pictures, so it's 45 seconds more effort than I was going to.
You know what?
So,
And that effort was appreciated by the
Thank you.
people.
Thank you.
So I'm
I
speaking
feel
for the
seen
people
by that.
here. So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Sounds good. So thanks for joining us for episode 17, and we'll see you next time.
Unedited is a ministry expression of the Neighbourhood Church. Hosted by Ethan Andrews and Jordan McClellan. Produced by Ashley Drayton. Voiceover by me, M. Curry. Watch us on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. Or listen on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Thanks for listening.